country that are going through these things, and it's like definitely a subject that should be talked about.
You should talk to your kids about things that have nothing to do with them at the time, because it's good to just, well, like, even if like they don't, you know, a lot of people would say they only actually end up having conversations with their kids about these things when they start to like show that they are gay or whatever. Like, but I think that having those conversations with kids and just letting them know that like there's so many different types of people in the world, that they don't really have any cause to be judgmental to anyone, because it's like, it's just, there's so many different types of people, and then you're also letting them just choose whatever they want to be without being confused about it, because like most non-binary people are like, we're just confused as hell. But it's not like a new thing being non-binary. It's a very like old thing. There's lots and lots of different cultures that had other ideas of gender. Most of it was pre-colonization, so it's not new, but I think that in a way that it is new is that, you know, like they pronouns, we use they pronouns all the time. Like all the time, you know, you'd say they don't want sugar in their coffee, or did I just knock that cyclist down? Oh no, I hope they are okay. You know, like
oops, I ran someone over.
Like, I don't know. We grow up with they pronouns. The only thing different about they pronouns now is that queer people are asking people to use them in a very specific way, and I think that if it had nothing to do with queer people, it would probably have been more normalized to do it, and just see it as just being a normal thing. Like, grammatically it is actually correct. Like, a lot of people have an argument that, oh, it's not correct because they is more than one person, which it can be, but there's just examples of it being used singularly as one person. And also, like, language changes all the time. Like, the way we speak right now would be grammatically incorrect to like ages ago. There's a reason we don't speak Old English or Old Scots
Hath thou
anymore.
been here before? Begone! That's the only one I remember from Shakespeare. We watched like Begone.
I quite like saying thy.
Thy.
Get me thy coffee.
Give me thy cup of coffee.
It's quite a tongue twister. But yeah, like, there's a reason we don't speak like that anymore, because times change and language changes. Like, the internet messaging, like, there's so much language that came from that literally is in dictionaries now because of a generation that now speak differently because of technology. So, like, the argument that it's a stupid language thing is ridiculous, because
you are incorrect.
Just like, why? How it's not that hard a thing to do. I mean, it is, like, in a way, if you're not used to it. Obviously, like, if you're starting to use they pronouns, or there are actually other pronouns other than that. There's quite a few. I don't really use them because people don't really know about them. So there's like
I'm like, can you tell us?
There's like they them, which I actually really like, but it sounds really like
wait, say that again.
They and them.
That's fun.
That sounds like a Russian person trying to say.
It does sound a bit Russian,
but they can't, so they say z.
Yeah,
pass me the coffee.
That's the thing. There's lots of like language differences too, because, you know, think about, you know, like, French. I mean, I did some French, and I know that my friend who's from Germany, it's like, those languages they pronoun like words, you know, like they have, you know, so it's a very difficult language thing as well. So I'm like, you know, like, I worked in a bar that was run by Polish people, and they just could not get the they them thing, and I'm like, fair enough, you know, like, give it a bash. That's the thing. I think if you can tell if people are trying, and then you can tell if people are just not
ignorant and close-minded.
I think there's a big that, you know, if you get it wrong, if you mispronounce somebody, or you're not sure, you have to ask, because then you're never gonna know.
Exactly.
And then and also, you know, if you make a mistake, just be like, oh, sorry, correct yourself, move on. And the more you do it, the more, especially with they pronouns, just like, you know, my sister never was able to do it, and now she can't stop doing it to people who don't even use they pronouns. So it's just a matter of practice, but it's not like a huge thing, I think, to ask.
And it's like brain training in a way, because
it really is.
Because even whenever I speak about you, like, I'll I'll slip up, but I immediately catch myself now, where before I wouldn't notice it or something.
Because some people, it's just they don't think about pronouns. They don't think of it. They don't need to think about it.
Exactly.
You know, I realised that, you know, I probably think about it every day so much because it's just something when it's that part of your identity, you just do notice it because you're like, grr, that's like not what I want. But you know, some people just they're quite happy with what they were assigned.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, that it's not something that some people need to think about. And so I think you need to give some people time, because like the whole idea of gender being different from what we've been raised to think of it as being binary, that's quite a new thing for a lot of people. I think the only thing you can't like people who are just being willfully ignorant and don't really care and just very dismissive, or they just don't even want to do the smallest things, is respect a few words.
Yeah.
That's not on. But for some people, it's just trying to understand, and it's trying to learn, and that can take a while, you know. So
For sure.
I think that a lot of non-binary people have patience.
Yeah.
They have a lot of patience.
No, you
they
will
understand.
do.
They have immense amounts
Yeah,
of
because I mean,
patience.
it must have taken so much patience as like when you were growing up, like to understand yourself, because there was no like how to understand your identity, like, you know, for dummies.
Here
like
is a book.
but like so our theme like this season is about childhood. So like when was that moment that you kind of realized that you were like, okay, I don't fit into either one of these categories, or I don't really care about them?
I think I didn't know what like being trans or what non-binary